Hello, hello, hello. This is Justice's Waiting Room. It's a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. Except I'm a socialist. And all that means is hey, I just want everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. Everybody get settled in. First things first, this podcast has an opening tune, but unlike every other fucking podcast you've ever listened to in your entire life, we're going to start by me just sharing the link to the original music video from Edwin Starr's song War from 1969. It's literally the original one. Cool. I think that's like better. Because if you've heard it a million times from me, you can decide just to listen to my buttery ass voice instead. You can skip the opening song. Ha! I let you do it. I gave it to you. Absolutely nothing to you. So here, if you wondered who's this person that I'm currently listening to, my name's Jared. Yeah, my name's Jared. There's my name. There's how you can enjoy me socially, is what I think the terms are there. When I post shit on Facebook, I gotta water it the fuck down because it's like people I went to high school with and college and like my family and shit, not people I'm like close to now, right? So there's been people like, hey man, let me get your Facebook. Mm, mm, I'd rather you just get the real me. The only way you're gonna do that is here. Yeah, I don't fuck with Facebook. Fuck Mark Zuckerberg. And why? You want to know why? Fuck yeah, why still on Facebook? For the same reason. That's like people I went to high school and college with, and like my family and shit. And like if someone dies, that would be the only way all of those people I would know. And you know what's even crazier about that? I had someone unalive that I went to high school with that I was close with. His name was Aaron Mann, like Aaron. I never got to call him that. But he like died, and I had no fucking clue about it. And again, no ill will, no ill will. He probably don't like me now. You know what I mean? Like there's still like a heavy disdain for people like me. So I know you're in here and you're like, but I like you. I'm like, eh, for now. So remember, we always start with war. Okay, tell you who I am, right? And then listen. Here's the way I think about the TikTok situation. Okay, I have to operate as though we're gonna lose you. Okay, what I would ask you to do, follow my YouTube channel. I'm also live on YouTube at the same time. I'm co-streaming. You're on my phone, you're on my computer, right? I get a screen to use to perform the show, okay? So here's my YouTube. Listen. I'm asking you to do a bunch of shit, right? Tap the screen pretty consistently. Basically, every time you hear me say a sentence that you're like, oh, that was fucking good, Jared, you should fucking tap the screen and be like, fuck yeah, bro. And then make sure that you follow me, okay? Make sure that you follow my account. And then you might want to share it. If you're spending a lot of time here and you're here every day, you might want to like start sharing where are you? What are you watching? To get other people that you know involved, right? The best way to build community is to add people that you already know to your community. Yeah? Savvy? So, like, you don't have to vet them as hard if you've already vetted them. You're friends with them. You know them, right? For the record, I say all that shit to say the house next door to me is still for sale, and it looks awful cozy. Just throwing that out there. Buy it before homes become fucking unaffordable, is what I would say, and I will help you. You will have the best fucking neighbor ever. I'm about to put solar panels on my roof. And I'm trying to put up enough that I could provide power to the entire neighborhood. That's lofty. That's a lot of fucking solar panels. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Jojo King said homes are already beyond reach. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we're like a blue dot in a sea of fucking red. And I get it, but in terms of being within reach, that little fucking bungalow next to mine, you know what I mean? I will pick the sticks up that fall off of my tree into your yard out of your yard. Huh? Huh? So you don't have to fucking do it. And I take the leaves that are in your yard. It's like, I think it's in, let me look. A lot of people say like protect your information, Jared. You should have remained anonymous and all that shit. You can fucking Google my information. You can find out where I live. You could find out how I voted. You could see every social media profile I've ever had. Like, I have nothing to fucking hide. That's the beauty of being in the position I'm in, is I have nothing to hide. That's right. I don't have no DV charges. I ain't got no fucking criminal record. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I like to sleep. Okay? There's like 60 people in here. It's a good time to say, hey, listen. This is a fucking learn live. Okay? I'm here to learn you some shit. But if I can teach you anything, you got to get 8 hours of sleep a night. Did you hear what I said? You got to get 8 hours of sleep a night. And if you're an adult and you're laughing at me right now, like, ha ha ha, yeah, right, yeah, 8 hours of sleep. You also got to make sure that whatever you do for the 16 fucking hours that you are awake a day, that it allows you to sleep at night. So when you're young, hey baby, you just need to sleep 8 hours a night. Naps are fantastic. And when you get older, hey, you also got to make sure whatever the fuck you're doing while your eyeballs are fucking open, you got to make sure that, hey, you know, when you lay your head down at night, you go right the fuck asleep. Because if you don't, you gonna lay there, ain't you? Yeah, you gonna be restless, ain't you? Ah. Now you're finding it hard to fall asleep. Afraid you didn't do enough? That's interesting. Can you fix it? Fucking ASAP? Do you understand that the only way to fix your life is to sleep 8 hours a day? You got to start there. A lot of people are like, I got to get my life right and then I can sleep 8 hours a day. No, sir, no, ma'am. Starts with 8 hours of sleep. You are most capable when you are most well rested. Science backs this up. Sleep has the highest impact on your potential performance. Did you hear what I said? 25% of your daily capability is tied up in 2 hours of sleep, son. If you get 6 hours of sleep a day, you are only 75% of what you are truly capable of. 6 hours of sleep is equal to 75% of what you are capable of daily. You need sleep. You need a nap. You also gotta drink water, and you also have to eat right. And you gotta exercise. And here's what I've learned. I'm a football coach. I want to be an NFL head coach. Okay, so my content has to hit all ages. So if you've noticed, we've developed a pattern. This is how our show goes, right? I'm doing it live. I don't pre-plan things. What I do is I learn as I do what is the correct thing to do. The correct thing to do is right about the time you hit a peak of your audience, you got to get your message out, right? Hey, you got to sleep 8 hours a day. Okay? In addition to that, if you're an adult and you're laughing at me right now, hey, dickhead, whatever the fuck you do for the 16 hours you're awake every day, it's got to knock you out at night. It's got to let you rest. You got to hydrate. You got to eat right. Understand this. All the animals that you like, all them fast ass, dangerous ass animals that you like, they're not carnivores. They're fucking herbivores. Figure it out. You're eating fucking chicken and pork and all that shit. Just throwing this out there. All the animals you want to be like, vegetarians. So on that note of how do I eat right, Jared, I just fucking told you. Probably including some vegetables. Green vegetables are fucking insane for your body. Spinach, like Popeye. Meat is not. You gotta eat meat because it's the best protein available, but you can't champion this shit. You get what I'm saying? You can't champion this shit. It's unhealthy to do that. It's highly immoral and unethical to champion meat as a protein source. You actually don't need to do that. You could get your protein from a protein shake, a powder. I'm just trying to be logical and chart a logical path forward. Okay? So up there with like eat right and hydrate. If you eat right and hydrate, it can have a nominal impact on performance, but it will not have as large an impact as 8 hours of rest. And that's science. That's not my feelings. There's nothing you can fucking do about it. You can eat right and you can fucking hydrate, but it will not have as big of an impact on your performance as sleep will. Okay? Yes, eat meat with respect and appreciation. I think of meat as like a holiday thing. Okay? Yes, Lee. Answer your question, yes. Lee asked, do you think South Dakota not showing certification can prevent three-letter agencies? Yes, and that's the purpose, and that's Kristi Noem, and there's a reason I made a video tagging Kristi Noem. Okay? Because she's a fucking Trump plant, and her fucking signatures don't match. Her professional signature that she gave has a unique K. And listen, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't stay in a Holiday Inn fucking Express last night. But I could tell you with a full breath of air that she has a unique K, and it looks like to me it looks like 2 Ks, which is ironic because she's. You know what I think about? The more I think about it, it's like, damn, Kristi, it's awful close to 3 Ks. But yeah, she has this weird looking K. And then when you look at the signature from the certificate of votes, I think, or is it the certificate of ascertainment? It don't have that, damn near KKK in cursive. And that's a funny way of looking at it, right? So obviously, if I'm telling you to eat right, exercise, when we talk about exercise, one of the things we've known, yes, Lee. Yes, he asked the people, the people in the House of White know that. Yeah, of course. If we know this stuff, they know this stuff. Okay. So it's almost like it's anticipatory, right? It's almost like January 6th was ministerial, as were the Well, she still has to have all the documentation. I'm gonna eat real fast. I'm eating a Bop Tart, by the way. Is this really the time for this? Yeah. Here's what I think. I don't think that you cannot certify. Cannot certify. And that it's definitely a Donald Trump thing. Here's why. It doesn't make sense. Why the fuck wouldn't you just turn in the certificate of vote? You won. You won. Why? It's Kristi Noem. It's fucking South Dakota. Why wouldn't a Trump appointee think logically? Think. Why wouldn't, if he won, why wouldn't she want to just get that handed in? I want somebody to say something. Somebody answer me. I'm not going to be mad at you. Why would she not want to hand that in? And I don't want the right answer, so I want the wrong answer. Somebody give me the wrong answer. We know what the right answer is. What's the wrong answer? I said wrong answer. I said wrong answer. My fucking chat was just like, Jared, this is one of those all of the above things. There you go. She's given up. Oh, I like that, Justin. I like this one. They're all in it together. Okay. So, the wrong answer. No, Rick, that's the right answer. So this was all the above. This was all the above from the chat, huh? Chat literally was like, "Can't do it, Jared. Can't do it. I don't know what the wrong answer is. I know what the fucking right answer is." And okay, I'm gonna read chat to you. Well, understand that, because here's the way I look at it. Remember how they were referring to Kamala Harris as Madam President? I'm willing to bet they had a fucking rehearsal, and she walked out there and did the booming black lady voice. Y'all, we are shooting for 40 fucking minutes. No. She's scared. There you go. She's scared. No, wait. Who you talking about? Well, so who's scared? Kristi Noem? Nope, that's the right answer. What is the wrong answer? It doesn't matter. The wrong answer is that shit doesn't matter, Jared. Right? And that's what you're gonna get today. Okay? That's what you're gonna get. I know that y'all are really pissed right now because you're like, what the fuck did you just do that for? Y'all just wrote down all the right answers. No, it doesn't matter. It is the wrong answer here. It matters. Right? One of the problems that we've got is that people are letting in their mind Donald Trump pass checkpoint. Like he's done things here. He hasn't done anything yet. That election's got to be fucking certified. Yeah, that's definitely a wrong fucking answer. Dirty Pad Walker said because she's competent. You said wrong answers. Yeah, it certainly isn't because she's good at her job. So let's get that out of the way. Her hands are clean. See, we're starting to learn. Now you're starting to think like them. Now you're this is called counterintelligence. That's how you build counter intel in your community. Coin, right? Is you teach them why would Kristi Noem not just get that fucking certificate? She did nothing wrong. Well, no. You got to have action for me to determine that, though, Sandy. So here's what we do know. Okay. And we haven't talked about it because it's like, well, yeah, but we've known this. Is it 985 300? That would be the correct answer, Pix. So, okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put this link in the chat. We're going to talk about it. We're going to add it to our lexicon. And understand that I'm mad at all of you. That would be the right answer. Okay. Okay. So that's justice.gov. That's a good link. Okay. It's justice.gov. It's good. This is U.S. manual. This is U.S. manual. It's a justice manual. See, this is the thing that Donald Trump's lawyers don't do until the last fucking minute. And then they're like, "Oh shit." Remember, folks, ignorance of the law does not make you not culpable. That's fucking heavy shit. Ignorance of the law does not make you not culpable. They just said World War III soon. Yeah. Pixel pointed out some weird oddities among signatures and the lack of signatures on some documents I think we also found in Indiana, for example, where I live. And this smells like Donald Trump. It's a con to drag your feet to certify an election you won that you're trying to steal, right? And what he's trying to do, like, tell me this isn't totally what Donald Trump's doing. Understand he's a fourth grader with dementia. So understand, like, we aren't talking about highbrow shit. But what he's trying to do is he's about to have a rally on the 19th to try to get as many people in town as possible, right? He wants as many people in DC as possible. And then on the 20th, storm the fucking cap. Like, he forgot that he already tried this shit. And so he's gonna get all these people to stay the fuck overnight and regather in the morning. And I'm just letting you know, if you don't get there and get it over with, that you're losing gas and like people are just gonna get drunk now, and it's gonna be dumb. Okay. Yeah. So here's why here's what everybody has to understand. No one is showing up for Donald Trump on January 20th. So he was like, oh shit, I can't strong arm my way into office if no one's going to show up at the inauguration. So now I got to have a rally on the 19th at the Capital One Center up the road, right? What the fuck did you say? Whew. What was I saying? Fucking. So here's you caught me in the middle of telling you. Okay, so nobody was, because they were looking at like hotels and stuff, and nobody was going to come to the inauguration, and it's because the outcome's unclear. Just throwing that out there. Outcome's unclear, so nobody's who was showing up for. So he has this rally on the 19th. And you remember, fourth grader with dementia, but he's in power. He's in control. It's his fucking boat, right? And he's like, nobody's coming to the 20th, so now I'm going to have this rally on the 19th. And I'm going to try to get as many people there as I can. And get them to stay overnight and then regroup on the 20th for an assault on the Capitol. I'm just fucking, you know what I mean? He's going to try to strong arm his way into power. But you have to understand, and I've been trying to say this entire fucking time, the Constitution is very rigid. make some phone calls, Christina. Okay? So nobody's gonna come see you at your inauguration. So you got to have a rally on the 19th to try to get everybody in town, so you can rile them up on the 19th and attack on the 20th. Okay. Okay. And then the goal is to delay certification by South Dakota, Kristi Noem, a Trump appointee. The signatures are fucked up, and then like I said, after I saw South Dakota, and I saw that Kristi Noem's signature just do not fucking match. I was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna go look at Indiana, where I live. Beautiful things handmade. Why attack if he won? Right. Stay with me. Stay with me. So understand, because of Donald Trump, they had to change the rules of the certification of the election. And for the record, they reduced the role of the vice president, or the person presiding over the election, to ministerial, meaning it's her job to just administer that certification. Like, let's get this over with. Let's do it. Let's do it by the book and just get out of here. And if you watched the certification of this election and you've never watched it before, that's how it's supposed to go. That's how it's supposed to go. You're welcome. That's a little gift from the Democratic Party. That's what democracy fucking looks like. Okay? Now, for everyone, and again, we got to go kind of in order here. For everyone sitting out there, how come the Democrats ain't doing anything? Right? Raise your hand if you're like, why aren't the Democrats ain't saying anything? Okay? It's called obstructing fucking justice. Do you understand what the words that just came out of my mouth? Obstruction of justice. Look up Executive Order 13848 and understand that since November 5th, there has been multiple agencies investigating this election. Okay? I know what's going down, right? I know exactly what's fucking happening. I feel like I'm speaking with candor, and what comes out of my mouth is fucking gasoline. Kristi Noem is trying to delay certification of this election because of this fucking document that we're about to fucking read. That it's pretty clear that no one that voted for Donald Trump read this shit. Okay? Because again, those certificates of vote and certificate of ascertainment, those were due, correct me when I'm wrong, those were due on Christmas. Okay, you see all these people in my comments just denying reality? I want them out of my community. Like, people, anybody that's doubting what I'm saying, like, I'm not God, but I'm about to read you like the written rule. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? The Constitution is rigid. Do you get that what that means? It means there's not like negotiation in there. You can't wiggle in between the words. You know what I mean? Like, when I tell you that constitutional lawyers, constitutional scholars, like people whose lives are dedicated to the Constitution, have said Donald Trump is ineligible for office per the 14th Amendment, Article 3, for participating in an insurrection. And for the record, they've said that in court. He was convicted. The vote was 57 to 43 to have him removed from office. And you know why they didn't? Here, I'll give you the legal explanation of why Donald Trump wasn't removed from office. Are you ready? Because that's not what the 14th Amendment Article 3 says. It doesn't say remove from office. So it says that you must have held office prior. And again, I'm also abridging the 14th Amendment Article 3. Okay? It says, I'll break it down for you for people that don't like to read the 14th Amendment Article 3. Okay? There is no room for interpretation in the Constitution. That's what it is very rigid means, because I'll break it down for you Barney style so that you're like, oh, the rules of 14th Amendment Article 3 are that you must have already held public office. And so for the record, for all of you that are like, how do I talk to people that are Trump voters and get them to see the light? Tell it like this. Can you and I agree that Donald Trump was the 45th president of the United States? Can we agree that he was the 45th president? Okay, so he meets the 14th Amendment Article 3 qualification of having already held public office. Okay? That's the first part of the 14th Amendment Article 3. Do you also agree, and you cannot refute this, can you also agree that he participated in an insurrection on January 6, 2021? If you say no, I'll never talk to you again. But if you say yeah, like he participated in the insurrection. Okay. Then if you can agree that he was the president and he participated in an insurrection per the 14th Amendment Article 3, he's actually ineligible for office, and he wears it like a scarlet letter. Do you guys remember reading that book, The Scarlet Letter? He wears it like a scarlet letter. And the only way to remove his ineligibility, his disqualification from office, is if both the House and Senate, 2/3 of the House and Senate, have to vote to remove the scarlet letter, the disqualification, the ineligibility. So understand, if the rules are you had to already hold office, participate in insurrection, and then you're no longer fucking eligible for office. And it has to be removed by vote. Does everyone understand that's how that reads? It's not open for interpretation. It's actually, English is fucking boring. Okay? It's fucking boring. And every time I read it, it says the same thing. It don't change. It's fucking crazy. Okay? So understand that, like, when people are saying, like, he's going to be inaugurated on January 20th, and it's like, the election is not certified. Yes, he was. Steve Marr, that is a lie. He was convicted. 57-43 were the votes, and that was to remove him from office. So he was convicted of participating in an insurrection. That happened. He was not removed from office. You are misstating the truth, and I am telling the truth. Understand this, how this works. My shit don't get taken down. Ever. I refuse to break terms of service. I'm speaking facts. If you're arguing with me, understand that you are the one fucking wrong. So, like, and there's no arguing with that. You're just wrong. Live in that. Live in just being wrong. It fucking sucks. You can right the ship, though. He was impeached twice. The second time was for inciting an insurrection. Okay? It has to be certified. MPQ. It's got to be certified. And so everyone's asking me, hasn't the election been certified? No. I cannot say with full confidence, as a person who doesn't lie, I can't look at the National Archive right now. Okay, and I'm going to refresh. Yeah. The South Dakota's certificate of vote is not in PDF form. That leads me to believe it wasn't turned in and scanned in. And if it had been, it's such a minute fucking thing, it would have been certified here. And you're like, okay, it's certified on the National Archive. Okay? I think that's the official record. I can be wrong. Here's what we need to ask. We need someone to ask AOC Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris would be a great person to ask. If somebody that is close to Kamala Harris, can you ask her a question for us? Is the National Archive the official record of the election? And as a result, when we look at that and we say, hey, South Dakota's certificate of vote isn't in, is the election not actually certified? And get an answer for that. And I believe until that document is a PDF that the election's not been certified. I don't know if it can stall certification for longer than a day or two. I don't know. I will also admit when I don't know something. So I don't know if the strategy that I kind of see where Kristi Noem is a fucking Trump plant, that certificate of vote is hers to turn in. And remember, this was due on December 25th. And that St. Gail, for the record, if somebody would tag St. Gail would tell you that even the date of the 25th where it was due, no, SJ, no, not in a divided House and Senate. No. Okay? St. Gail was saying, fuck, I lost it. Yeah. Anyway, so what we need to do, did what? Yeah. So, yeah, because that's someone with a constitutional law degree. St. Gail is educated in constitutional law. Norm is a plant. Yeah. Kristi Noem is a Trump plant. That certification's hers. It was technically due on the 25th. Now, St. Gail would tell you, hey, just so you know, the 25th, the date, that's procedural. It's not a law. So understand that technically they could have brought that to the certification on the 6th. Okay? I'm literally paraphrasing St. Gail, where he said, like, the due date for those certificates of ascertainment, certificates of votes, like, yeah, it's like due on the 25th, but it's more of a suggestion. Like, you should get this in. Okay? Now, the reason that I'm spending all this time, there's a method to this. Okay? I don't want to lose you. I don't want you to listen to me, find some shit out, and be like, he fucking misled me on purpose. So all I'm doing is I'm covering my ass as someone with just a shred of journalistic integrity. I'm saying until I can click on that fucking thing and see it myself, I can't tell you that the election's been certified. And to do that takes integrity, because isn't it so much and I'm raising my voice, isn't it so much easier to just give up and be like, "Oh, that certification on January 6th was just it and it's over." Like, yeah, that's pretty easy to fucking do. But I think the correct thing to do is say, until that document is there, I don't know. Does it got to be there for them to certify that? And I think that's a question for Kamala Harris to answer, for example. It's not a question I can fucking answer because it's not a law. I'm going to keep saying it. It's not a law. I don't know. I don't know if it prevents certification. I like to think you got to put all the items in the box to check the box. Does that make sense? And so what I think is it feels very Trumpian. So there's a reason people are being are confused now in my chat. They're like, "Wait, I don't get it. Like, why the fuck would they do that if they won?" Here's why. Per the Justice Manual, Title 9, Criminal 9-85, .300. Okay? I'm going to post this so you can just Google search this. Just Google search this. Just Google search it. Okay, you're going to end up at the same spot I am. That's why they get certified without SD. That's not why I referenced St. Gale. I referenced St. Gale, and he said that that shit was due on the 25th, but that's a suggestion and not a fucking law. Like they're not required on the 25th. You got to think about weather. It's wintertime. So the reality is like they could have still brought those. Okay. So everybody got 9-85-300. People keep asking me, why aren't you talking about this? And I'm going to show you why I ain't talking about this. Okay? Because we already learned this information, kids. We learned this information from this little link that we've been looking at for a while. Okay? Prosecuting Election Crimes Document, Executive Order 13848. We've known this shit. Okay? So hopefully people will stop asking me, when are you going to talk about Justice Manual, Title 9, Criminal 9-85-300? Here, we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about how we've seen this several times. Okay? I'm reading. Keep in mind this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't even stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night because I got a new furnace and it's fucking hot in this bitch. Okay? 9-85.300. Non-interference in elections when conducting federal criminal investigations involving ballot fraud. Ballot fraud is crime involving the process by which voters are registered, votes are cast, or votes are tabulated. The department has long recognized that the states, not the federal government, are responsible for administering elections, determining the validity of votes, and tabulating the results, with challenges handled by the appropriate election administrators, officials, legislatures, and courts. The department has a limited role in these processes and should generally avoid interfering or appearing to interfere with election administration, tabulation, validation, or certification. And it also says C 9-85-500.500. We'll get there. The department's role is limited to investigating and prosecuting violations of federal election laws and deterring criminal conduct. Accordingly, the department should not engage in overt criminal investigative measures in matters involving election ballot fraud until the election in question has been concluded, its results certified, and all recounts and election contests concluded. Doing otherwise runs the risk of chilling legitimate voting and campaign activities and of interjecting the investigation itself into ongoing campaigns and the adjudication of any ensuing election contest. It may, however, often be appropriate in consultation with the Public Integrity Section to share information and allegations involving such matters with state or local authorities where an immediate need for overt measures exists. Exceptions to this policy may be recognized, but only with the approval of the Public Integrity System. Do you have questions? Yes, SJ. I just read it. It was fucking beautiful. It sounded great. I did a really good job, Jared. I did a really good job. I read that without saying like, fucking great. Okay? What did you learn? I'll tell you, nothing. Nothing. Why do I feel that way? Somebody want to tell me? And you know what it should read like? It sounds an awful lot like the prosecuting of electoral crimes document that you've been reading for the last 2 fucking months, Jared. It even uses the same word, chilling. That should have been what stuck out to you because it's used so infrequently. And it's fucking cold outside, right? So when a fucking a rule in the Justice Manual says chilling, you should be like, what the fuck? Where have you heard that recently? Somebody tell me. He's not going to be inaugurated. He's not eligible for office. He also hasn't signed the ethics agreement, the emoluments clause, or the transition agreement, all of which must be signed before he takes the office. So again, I would just ask, if he's not eligible for office and he hasn't signed any of the paperwork, why is your fucking brain broke? Why is your brain broken? Are you dumb? I don't understand. Why do people keep saying that shit? What the fuck are you talking about? He's not eligible for office, and he also hasn't done any of the shit you're supposed to do to take the job. But for some reason, your brain is broken, and you're like, yeah, but he's gonna get it anyway. That's just how it works for Donald Trump. What the fuck is wrong with you? Dead ass. Yes, he's playing president on TV. It's like he's in fantasy land. Yes. Yeah, and you know why Jack Smith dropped those investigations into those crimes? Because you always drop lesser crimes for greater crimes, and he dropped them without prejudice, which means he could pick them right back up if he wants. And you know what else I learned? When you drop shit without prejudice, you could take the information from that case and you could apply it to the bigger case. Without it fucking up the other case. Yeah. And all you soft motherfuckers sitting in my lobbies that are like, oh my God, you clearly ain't never done shit wrong in your life. You have no contact with the justice system. You have no concept of how it works at all. At all. You don't know how this works. At all. You are letting people run victory laps on you that don't know how races are run. They don't even know how it fucking works. You got people telling you it's the end times and that you need to prepare for the apocalypse. And you are like about that life. I'm letting you know you ain't, and you're gonna go fast. You are not hard. I am not hard. And the hard reality of this is, until I can see the fucking certificate of vote from South Dakota, I don't have to do anything. Chewy, you get the fuck out of here. I don't have to do anything, sir. I don't work for you. But we're going to look at 985.5, okay? Because if we're going to look at 985.3, got to look at 985.5. Actions that may have an impact on an election. So I sent you the 985.3. Here's 985.5. And you ain't getting this anywhere else, okay? Okay? You ain't getting this from nobody else unless they're literally stealing this shit. If you're gonna talk to me about 985.3, oh my God, y'all make me fucking sick. All right, so let me explain this to y'all. It's called obstruction of justice. Since election night, all relevant agencies have been investigating this election. That's FBI, CIA, NSA, D6, CISA, you name it. If I haven't, you're probably right. They've been investigating this election. If a Democrat walks up to a microphone and says, they cheated, guess what you did? You created an avenue of investigation. And that means that you're going to get a phone call. They're going to go sit you down and they're going to say, okay, what do you know? And now you create, is it chain of custody? Now you create chain of custody of all the information. And now that person that's a Democrat, that's clearly working with the feds, right, is going to have to start to gather information to corroborate with the federal government. Do you understand that if you're an elected official and you speak out about this election and the feds come to you and take you away from your job so that you can get all the information from Reddit that we've seen largely, right? Take all that all the data and corroborate it and you're not doing your job. Exactly. Like if you create more work, you are negatively impacting time frames. And we've been talking about how important time frames are, right? Yeah. They rehearsed it, Kim. And the evidence of rehearsal is in the clerk speaking in the end. And there's all those people that you can go watch the video. Go watch the end of the certification. Like after the banging of the gavel and a clapping of the hands and a handshaking and Kamala Harris turns away. Listen. Lisa McClain, the head of the Republican caucus, walks up, says, "I'm submitting, requesting consideration for a motion pending HR 13 or whatever." Burp. They acknowledge it, and then the clerk goes to read it, and Lisa McClain says, "Proceed as though read." In that engagement, the clerk stopped about a full second before Lisa McClain said, "Proceed as though it was read." And my brain was like, rehearsed. They rehearsed that shit, and she froze. Okay? And I was like, it only took 37 minutes. South Dakota's fucking thing ain't in there. You go look at Indiana's fucking thing. They didn't even, all the signatures ain't even in there. And you're like, this is a sham. This is a show. We just watched a fucking show. And when the Democrats did it too, for the record. So I don't want anybody to be like, you're only shitting on Republicans. No, after Lisa McClain did the shushing thing, fucking Pete Aguilar from California. So it was Lisa McClain, the head of the Republican caucus, and Pete Aguilar, the head of the Democratic caucus. He did the same thing. Hey, we're proposing and if I'm off by words, like I'm off by like a couple words. Like he said, proposing consideration pending HR 14. And they went to acknowledge it, and the clerk goes to read it. And again, I think the clerk broke it for me, where I was like, "Oh, this was a show. This was just a show." She stopped herself and kept going, and it was the thing where like I think she stopped a word. She started to stop too early again, but she kept going, so she stammered and then got talked over. And I was like, "Oh, this was rehearsed." She fucked that up because the reason I know it was rehearsed and she fucked that up because everything else was perfect. Because everything else about that ceremony was fucking perfect. The Republicans made asses of themselves. Tell me when I'm wrong. Republicans made asses of themselves. Donald Trump wasn't fucking there. JD Vance looked like he wanted to die. Ugh. He did not want to fucking be there. Anything could have happened. And you know what happened? Kamala Harris looked him dead in the eye and read that shit from fucking memory and shot fucking laser beams out of her fucking eyes while she was looking at him, "You sad motherfucker," while she was getting up there killing. She looked like $1,000,000. Yeah, that's what really fucking happened. And I also want to point this out. This is an observation. Okay? This is an observation. JD Vance looked like he'd just taken a beating. And I'm saying like his face was puffy and his face had red marks on it and he had a bruise outside of his eye. Makes me think he got roughed up into not saying nothing. Just sit there. He's patsy. As far as I'm concerned, he's patsy. Even when he won, I know that he had surgery, Brandy, but the bruise is on the outside of his eye. He didn't break his orbital bone. Yes. Surgery. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Y'all aren't acting like the Republican Party hadn't been taken over by Russia. Y'all act like we ain't compromised. He might have had nasal surgery. Why would you have a bruise out here then? Why is the bruise on the outside of the eye? One of us has been in fist fights in their life, and the other one just watches shit on TV. The bruising occurs under the eyeball, between the eye and the nose. That's where the bruising occurs. Right here. When you get bruises outside of the eye, that indicates a punch to the face. They're compromised. He's been patsy. He looked like he'd just gotten his shit beat up. Thank you. Why did he even show up? Did he have to? I'm surprised he was there. I think it would have been a shock if neither Donald Trump or JD Vance was there. But maybe Donald Trump didn't show up because he knows he's not eligible for office. And maybe if he shows up at the certification, they just say it right there because you have to be there. Yep, no bruises on the side of his temple. He had bruises out here. If he had bruising here and somebody said, oh, they have nasal surgery, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. That makes sense. He had nasal surgery, that passes. But he has like red marks on his lower cheeks area and the side area. It's like, dude, he's taking hits. Somebody's wearing rings and hitting him in the face. Yeah. You would have bruising here. You wouldn't have bruises out here. His face was swollen as fuck. I'm just y'all keep it's like you will trip over yourselves to hand the world to fascists on a platter, but when I try to say it looks like he got his ass beat and he's patsy, y'all will do jumping jacks around that. But you'll hand it to him. You'll give him the whole world on a fucking platter, but you won't let me be like, I think he's getting roughed up. I think he got roughed up into being there. Yeah, he's gonna flee the country. Do president-elects usually show up on 1/6? So let's Google it. Hey, do president-elects usually attend certification? Somebody got a piece of legislation. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So we need to find, maybe James Blackman can tell us. Okay. While we're trying to figure this out, okay. Biden was not, Donna said. Okay. Oh, we need a reset. We need to recenter. Okay. We need to recenter. Hold on. We need to recenter. I need to read 985.5. Slow down. Go back to where you wrote down 985.3 and the notes you took from 985.3. Under that 985.5, actions that may have an impact on an election, and I'm going to read so you can settle in. If you got to take a shit, I probably sound fantastic on the toilet. Federal prosecutors and agents may never select the timing of any action, including investigative steps, criminal charges, or statements, for the purpose of affecting any election, or for the purpose of giving an advantage or disadvantage to any candidate or political party. Such a purpose is inconsistent with the department's mission and with the principles of federal prosecution. Any action likely to raise an issue or the perception of an issue under this provision requires consultation with the public integrity section. And such actions shall not be taken if the public integrity section advises that further consultation is required with the Deputy Attorney General or Attorney General. Okay? I mean, could he? But would he make it there without getting, shot down? You have to understand Donald Trump's not allowed to go a lot of places. He's not allowed in their airspace. And that's the thing is y'all are so used to living in a world where Donald Trump does whatever the fuck he wants to do and there's no consequences. Mm-hmm. That motherfucker is living rent free. So if you know these exist, 985.3, 985.5. Somebody said, "Do you think you're waiting until after? Are you ready to be real mad? Are you ready to be real mad at me? You ready to be really mad at me? You want to talk about decorum? You want to talk about the DOJ and them taking action and when it's going to happen and shit? I'm guessing after they remove Jimmy Carter's body from Capitol grounds. They don't want you motherfuckers trampling over it. So strawberry Pop-Tart. It's very strawberry forward. If you don't like strawberry jam, if you don't like strawberries, you ain't gonna like very strawberry forward Pop-Tart. But I happen to fucking love strawberry jam, love fucking strawberries. You better goddamn believe it. Mm-hmm. Leo said it much nicer. It would be disrespectful to do anything before they've laid Jimmy Carter to rest. Mm-hmm. Or you could just say what I said. They're not. The DOJ ain't gonna do anything until after they've gotten Jimmy Carter's body off Capitol grounds. So you motherfuckers aren't trampling over it. Oh, and one of the things that we gotta tackle, because people keep being like, "Oh shit, what is that?" I had a hair out of line, boy. I saw that shit from a mile away. One of the things that we gotta talk about is expedience. Okay, one of the things that Executive Order 13848, the prosecution of election crimes document, the Justice Manual. Okay, the eve of the 9th, sis. One of the things that it guarantees is the expedience of justice. So, remember how I told you the hands of justice do not move quickly, but they move slowly, but they move swiftly. Understand that, like, expedience is the name of the game. You're talking about like a torrent. It's probably given the fires in California, I think we got to tell you what a torrent is. Because I'm using all my power to send rain to California. All of the power that I have. Remember the gods? All right, so we got to do this again. Remember what we did yesterday? Where we talked about I'm not religious, but I understand that some of you believe your gods are real. So what I can do is I can offer to talk to everybody. So who's the gods that deliver rain? No, seriously, like which of the gods deliver rain? You mean start spitting it out? Did we get torrent in there? We get torrent in there? Everybody learn what a torrent is? Okay. Indra? Okay. Let's talk about Indra. Indra is a Hindu and Buddhist god who controls rain and storms, also known as the guardian of the East. Mm-hmm. Hey, look, it's a list of rain deities. So, for those of you that fuck around with the gods, okay, I'm not religious. I just cuss a lot. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. That we're aware of, right? We'll talk about shit we're aware of. So I'm not terribly familiar with African religions. The only thing I can remember from my lifetime is the Bantu. They wrote scripture, I'm pretty sure. They're their own religion. So on this thing about African mythology, yeah, they got like three different. Ooh, they got like three different gods. Pixels says Matthew in or Jesus in Matthew 5:45. There's Sinvula, Nanvula or Namvula, Mbaba, Mwana, Waresa as the gods of rain in Bantu. I didn't know about the Mbaba, Mwana, Waresa. I didn't know about that. But Nanvula, Sinvula, I've actually heard that before. So, and then let's see, American, let's see. The coyote in Native American culture, the Navajo believe the coyote symbolizes rain. From the NIV, Matthew 5:45, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes the sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and on the unrighteous. Let's see. Let's talk about Filipino mythology in Asia. Isn't it Dewarana? Isn't that the supreme god? And it's like two words. Odin, deity of rain, worships for its life-giving waters. Apoturo, but no, there's Dewarana. Dewarana Magbabaya. Simply referred to as Magbabaya, the good supreme deity and the supreme planner. It looks like a man, created the earth and the first 8 elements: bronze, gold, coins, rock, clouds, rain, iron, water. Used the elements, created the sea, sky, moon, and stars, known as a pure god who wills all things. One of the 3 deities living in the realm called Banting. I remember Dewarana for some reason, because it's fun to say. Dewarana. Well, here's what I think. I don't believe in any of it. But if we're going to pray for rain, we ought to be praying to the fucking rain gods. Like, otherwise, fuck. Indra and Hindu. Okay. And Varuna. Yeah, I'm trying to give people in my audience that like they're not religious either, but it's like if we're gonna pray to a god, let's pray to rain gods. That passes. Okay. Varuna. Okay. In Japanese mythology, Kurokami. The Middle Easterns have Adad. The Chinese have Fangzi, Yushi, Lung Wang, the Chinese dragon. And there's Hyades in Greek mythology, and Zeus, obviously, which no one said. Okay, like Zeus is the god of rain, thunder, and lightning. Everyone know that, right? in Lithuanian mythology, the Blizgulis is the god of snow, so fuck that guy particularly. And then Freyr in Norse mythology was a Norse god of rain, sunshine, summer, and fertility. So go figure. The Norse like to fuck when it's nice outside, huh? Go figure. You made a god for it. Let's see. Slavic mythology, Dodala, the goddess of rain. That was supposed to be funny. Nobody laughed. So the Norse like to fuck when it's nice outside too, huh? Go figure. In Oceanian, there's Australian Aboriginal Bunbulama in Yolngu mythology. In Hawaiian mythology, there's Lono, the fertility god, and in Polynesian mythology, Hero is the god of rain in Rapa Nui. So again, Tlalak, Sayataisha. Sayataisha. It's a fucking mouthful. Picks. Okay. I'm just trying to be logical in a world full of illogical people that will spit their preferred dogma when it's like my dogma is like be nice or die. Zayatasha is the Zuni rain god of the north and a member of the Zuni Council of the Gods. The title of Zayatasha is given to one person each year by the eldest female of the ceremonial host family. The rain god of the north. Cool. So yeah, that's the way I try to think about shit. Is like if I'm gonna pray for rain, should be like praying to the right gods. Should be courting the right gods, right? You should be saying like we call on Hero, we call on Dodala, on Freyr, on Zeus, on Hyades, on Lun Wang, on Kurokami, and you don't want to, you want to talk to too many of them. Indra, Varuna, Dwaranamagbaya. You know what I mean? You might as well just talk to Coyote. You might as well just do that. I think it's interesting the jaguar and the coyote. The jaguar in the Olmec religion and the coyote in the American Indian symbolize rain. Tefnut is the Egyptian goddess of rain. What did you say? Tefnut. Damn, we got kind of... Not gonna lie, I got fucked on the name. Tefnut? People are horrible. That was like probably before people were horrible. I'm glad Kelly laughed. Holy shit. I thought that was fucking funny. Tefnut is like, you got hosed of all the fucking, of all the names of gods you could have gotten. And it's too close to Tough Nut. And that just sounds even sillier. But in ancient Egyptian culture, Tefnut, whose name means that water. Yeah, like Eugenus. Yeah. I thought you said Tough Nut. No, it's Tefnut. 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 Just okay. Got kind of hosed on the name. Okay. But if I don't introduce you to other gods and say that it makes most sense if I'm trying to appeal to a wide audience to give credence to everyone's preferred dogma and say, like, if I can identify within your religion a god of rain or a piece of scripture that prays for rain, I don't believe in that shit, but one of you do, and one of you is gonna pray real hard, right? And it's like, I don't believe in any of that shit. But if that's the little piece that you got from me, that I acknowledged your fucking dogma, hey, it's better than being Christians or get the fuck out, right? Which is what they're trying to fucking do. And I would much rather like acknowledge, I say I don't personally believe any of this shit, but I gotta kind of acknowledge it all. I gotta kind of be like, that's interesting. Fucking. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with Christian nationalism. It's all the nationalism, none of the Christ. So the problem is they call it Christian nationalism, and it's like, it's not Christian. It's not Jesus. It's just hate. Spirituale Millennium Curae 1986. Yeah. Okay. And again, so I think there is no God, right? There is no God. But you could talk me into all of them. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think any of them are real. And the only way you get me to lean into it is if I got to believe in all of them now. Hundreds of them from all over the world. I got to cover my bases. I'm too smart to be that arrogant, right? And there's too many people out here that are like, Jesus is the man, the only one. And it's like, dude, do you know how many gods were born of a virgin birth? Like, do you know how many times that I think Jesus was like the 700th God to be born of a virgin birth. And if you look back, they are all telling you the same story before Jesus was even fucking born. It's like they've been selling that shit to us forever. The thing about Jesus Christ is that they have like evidence. And when I say that, that's fucking loose. Here's the same things you got to know. The library in Rome was burned. All the original fucking scripture, that shit was burned. Josephus saved the Dead Sea Scrolls and some of the fucking original scripture. But and again, I'm getting agitated because I have friends that are theologians, so you're gonna have a real fucking hard time with me. The problem that I have with the words of Christ is that it was written in Aramaic, which is not fucking Hebrew. It doesn't even look the same. And the problem that I have is that what Josephus was meant to recover was Hebrew literature. And so again, when you talk about history, you got to talk about it correctly. He wasn't meant to save what Jesus said in Aramaic. Because at the time, and this is a long fucking time ago, kids. At the time, that shit wasn't that important. So I'm not saying that Jesus isn't real or didn't exist, because that's like mean. It's like being mean just because it's Jesus. Here's what I say. Jesus, as you told him to me, is too good for you. It's just too good for you. You don't deserve him. He's not yours. He's mine. I'm taking your Jesus too. Because you don't want him. Christian nationalism doesn't want Jesus. Love everyone. Invite the neighbor into your home. Oh, be pro-immigrant? That part. You're not. You're nothing like Jesus. In fact, many of you that call yourself Christians act the exact opposite of what that man says. Socialism is more Christian. And if there's anything that fucking Christians hate, it's socialism. Isn't that fucking insane? And understand that I'm a socialist, and the definition of socialism is the desire for all to have universal healthcare, education, income, and housing. That's it. There's not a dogma. There's not a Christ. There's not a required religion. There's not apathy required. There's not excluding people required. It's universal healthcare, education, income, and housing. You know what's fucking sad to me? Let's look up the divorce rate in the United States. You know what I learned recently that's really fucking sad? Thanks, Trish. Here's the first thing I saw. I like charts that don't have a bunch of shit next to it. They're not trying to accuse, they're not kind of trying to convince us of anything. They're just going to show us the data, let us figure it out. All right. He said it contributed to the divorce rating twice in 18 years. If you can't get it right the first time, you aren't going to get it right the second. Just letting you know. Okay? But let's work with some probability. Okay? The divorce rate in the United States has hovered between 40 and 50%. So let's be unfair and say half of all marriages in divorce. These are first marriages. Okay? Half of all marriages in divorce. I want you to write down in the chat for me why. What is the number one reason why people get divorced? And I don't want you to be nice. I want you to really think, why do most people get divorced? Don't look it up. This is a pop quiz. What do you know? Okay, money. Okay. That's okay. That's an okay answer. Finances. It's close. Okay. I want people to keep answering. 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 Y'all are going to be really fucking mad. Really mad. Y'all are about to be really angry. I can feel you stamping around your house, cursing me under your breath and saying, God damn it, Jared. Are you fucking kidding me? 66% of all marriages end as a result of medical debt. If that doesn't break your fucking heart, if you didn't just fall on the floor, if you didn't just fall on the floor, 66% of all divorces end as a result of medical debt. It ain't cause you cheated. All right, I'm breaking your heart. It should break your fucking heart. It ain't cause you cheated. Yeah. It's incredibly fucking sad. It makes me want to lay down. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not because you didn't like each other. It's not because you got fucking bored. It's not because you changed. No. It's because, let's say that my wife gets diagnosed with the C word, right? I'm a veteran. I use VA healthcare. My healthcare costs till I die will be zero. So I'm not burdening us. But my wife, let's say my wife gets cancer and she dies in the next 3 years. In the first 6 months of cancer treatment, the bills, if not 100% covered and applied per our insurance, millions. Millions. Our reason for divorce would be so that when my wife dies, that debt does not transfer to me. Not because we don't love each other, not because we changed or because of money. We've had no money since we bought this house. It's been a struggle. We bought this house. We elected Donald Trump. He fucked the economy up. We, ever since I've been here. Okay. So now that you know, do you have any questions why the United Healthcare CEO got dropped in broad daylight? Does anybody have any questions about why that happened? It's so fucking sad. 2/3 of all divorces are as a result of medical debt. And you wonder why Luigi Mangione is wildly fucking popular to the point where I saw in the last 3 hours, friends, I saw a music video, just his perp walks, and it's a love song. And it was actually it was like watching a soap opera. You were like, huh, I really like idolize this guy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. See, I know I totally buzzkilled the fuck out of everybody. Sorry. I just, I had to get that one out. Jesus fucking Christ, Chili. How long we been here? Hey, hey, it's that time. Now that I took all the fucking air out of the room. Trish said we need socialism. Trish, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create the American Socialist Party here in Indianapolis, Indiana, ASP, and we're gonna focus on doing what helps businesses grow, and that is merch. We're gonna make some fucking killer ass merch, and in the process, I want to start a clothing company, clothing line called DFKY. Don't fucking kill yourself is what the fucking letters stand for, and we're aiming to create like high end fashion for everybody, and just gut the high end fashion market by making a completely affordable option that people can support. Don't fucking kill yourself, right? And donate all the like profit, most of the profit anyway, to charities aimed at helping people with like suicidal ideation and shit. It's like something that matters to me, right? Like, don't fucking kill yourself. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna form the American Socialist Party, whose platform is we want universal healthcare, education, income, and housing. And we can pay for that by legalizing cannabis and using the tax revenue created by the federal legalization of marijuana. And by the way, with climate, and this is one of the things of soapboxes you get on, and with climate change drying out and raising the temperature in our climate, it makes our climate suitable for the growth of cannabis. So more parts of the United States are going to be able to grow that. And I'm telling you, that's the path forward. You want socialism? You want legal weed? Use the tax revenue from legal weed to pay for socialism. Get businesses out of politics, right? Get rid of Citizens United, right? Codify Roe v. Wade, right? Protect the LGBTQIA plus, which turns violent crimes against the members of the LGBTQIA plus community into hate crimes. So, what do y'all think about that? Sound good? Yeah. Yeah, in Indianapolis, they're trying to get rid of IPS, Indianapolis Public Schools, and replace them with charter schools. They're horrible. That is a terrible fucking idea. IPS is the only thing left supporting Indiana public schools. Yeah. You understand why they want to back burner education? So they can create more criminals, so they can fill their jails, so they can use them as slave labor. Did you hear that? The reason they want dumb people is so they can put them in jail, so they can use them for slave labor. Mm-hmm. So slavery is alive and well in the United States. Get caught up in the legal system. Okay? So every show, what we do to close the show is we listen to Eat the Rich by Aerosmith. Okay? So we've been in here for an hour and a half. Okay? Gonna get out of here. All right? Yeah, look up prison, Charleston, Arkansas, and be mad. That's Sarah Huckabee Sanders, right? Yeah. So yeah, have a good morning, everyone. I'm gonna go hang out with my wife. It's warm. It's warm in my house. My wife said it was too hot earlier,